Hey, what's going on? In this video, I'm going to show you a couple different ways you can set up conditional flows for your SMS marketing compliance. So basically the concept is that if you collect phone numbers and you want to text people, you need to get explicit consent. And by that, I mean you need to have an explicit checkbox that allows people to give you consent so you can text them. And the kind of issue is that if they give you your phone number, it doesn't necessarily mean that they give you consent to text. And so the question is, if you do collect the phone number, how do we make sure that, if they didn't hit the box, it does get registered and they do get the text, and if they don't give you consent, then it doesn't. So there's a couple different ways, and I'm going to show you both options. All right, the first one is kind of more on the marketing side. So on your landing page, if you're designing this on GHL, ClickFunnels, or some kind of landing page builder, one thing that you could do is you could actually not even show the phone field until they actually give the consent. So it would look something like this, where you can see they have their name and email here, but then I have this please send me marketing SMS, and they can't even give me the phone number until I hit this, but when I do, then it gives me the option to have the phone number. So that's a pretty easy way to make sure that you're getting explicit consent, and then you don't really have to worry about it, down the line, because they have to give you consent before they even give you the phone number. So that's one way. The second way is if, this looked more like a normal form where we had the phone number, but then we just had this SMS consent later. And so what we want to do before passing this to the webinar or passing this wherever it needs to go is we want to check to see if they gave us consent. And if so, we'll push the phone number and we'll be able to text them. And if they did not check the box, then we won't even bother putting on the phone number. And so if you're using Zapier, that's one way that people do this. Sometimes they have landing pages that go and then they register somebody for a webinar or wherever it needs to go. You could have Zapier kind of set up like this. And so what you'd have is you'd have your landing page or wherever you're collecting the registrations. And so they would come and they would have the name, email, and then your consent checkbox. And then depending on the path, we could have this thing, it's called Zapier paths. And so when you go add a step, you just search for path. You search for paths. That's a native Zapier thing. Or you can find it right here on the right. It just says paths. And what this does, it puts people down a conditional flow based on, what happened. So in this context, we're basically checking the SMS consent. And so what I did here is I said, hey, my custom rules are that only continue if the SMS consent box has yes in it. Like, for example, on this form that I did, it was just an SMS consent box, and then it said, yes, please tell me. And the way it comes up here is that if it contains yes, then they check the box. And then, so if they did, what I'm going to do is I'm going to register them for the Zoom, and I'm going to include the phone number. The other condition is if they did not check the box, and I just put, if the SMS consent does not contain yes, then what I'm going to do is I'm still going to register them. I'm just not going to include any of the phone number in there. And so that way, anybody that didn't check the box, we're not even going to worry about the phone number. We're not even going to send them at all. So that's an easy way to set it up in Zapier. There's lots of different ways to do it. Definitely you want to change this based on what your form looks like, what the responses look like when they come in here. But the main point is that using this paths, this is the way we can conditionally flow people to different types of registrations, essentially like ignore the phone number if they did not consent to SMS. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Cheers.